Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Injustice for All. I'm your host, Britt Eskridge, and today we're going to be talking about P. Diddy. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to be talking about that piece of shit. Nobody gives a fuck about P. Diddy. At least I don't. I don't know what all the hype is with that fucking faggot motherfucker anyway. I don't know. Excuse me if that word offended somebody. I didn't mean it like that, you know. Got gay friends and all that. I just don't want to fucking hear about some piece of shit fucking everybody in the ass in Hollywood every day, and you know, and all his buddies all the time, and molesting children, young boys, and beating the shit out of women, and swimming in fucking baby oil and condoms ankle deep in the hotel room, and oh God, what the fuck? Leave him alone. Like fucking God, just give him a quiet corner and some baby oil and some condoms and some concubines, some Johns or whatever, fuck, a goat or something, I don't fucking know, a blow up doll, and get the fuck out of here, motherfucker, get away from us, you know? What the fuck would anybody waste so much time on a piece of fucking shit like that? Anyway, back to Injustice for All, we'll start over, okay. We're not going to be talking about anybody like that. We're actually going to be talking about a place much worse. I know that sounds bad, you know, I don't know, how could it possibly get much worse? But I'll tell you like this, it is. And it's a place in the middle of hell, literally, called Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Okay, you may be going, what the fuck? Who the fuck gives a fuck about Lawrenceburg, Tennessee? Well, nobody. But you may be fascinated, appalled, disgusted, blown away, intrigued, captivated. I mean, there's a lot of diverse range of words and emotions that could be experienced once you hear the story of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. It's a small town in a small county in the Mid-South of the state of Tennessee, on the Alabama state line, so it's very, very, in the heart of the Bible Belt. It's a population of around, I don't know, maybe around 10, 12,000. I want to be accurate on it. I should have looked this up before. But this is just a little snippet. I'm just giving you guys kind of a sneak peek into our next podcast, okay? So I just wanted to discuss a few things and touch base with you after my genocide and Gaza rant. I kind of wanted to pull away from that because, not pull away from it, you know, as to forget about it and move on from it, because it's actively going on. There's more to come. We'll be talking about that more in the future, in the very near future, as it's going on. But I just want to take a break from it. It's just it's a little too much. It's really bothering me, to be honest. Like, I'm losing sleep over it. I'm getting stressed out. I'm very, very, I don't know the word, you know, like where it's just when there's something that's going on, you can't do nothing about it. Like you're watching, you know, a little kid, they say, you know, put his hand on the stove eye, and you're like, you can't, you're so far away, there's nothing you can do, you can't hear you, you're just, like you're looking at it through a glass. That's kind of, you know, whatever that feeling is, you know, if there's a word for that, helplessness. There it is. I feel very helpless, and I'm enraged at the atrocities being committed on those people, and I'm disgusted. I'm so appalled. I'm so heartbroken, and my heart goes out to the Palestinian people and everybody suffering over there, and even to the citizens of Israel that are against this, because I know there's many people against it, not the entire country, just blanket the entire state of Israel with these atrocities, because not everybody's on board with this. It's just, I hope there, God, please, let there be some light there. But anyway, we're going to be discussing Lawrence County, Tennessee, and that's where I'm from, actually, and that's the reason I wanted to talk about it, because, that's part of the reason, part of the problem in this country, actually, is there are a lot of, most people there are going to disagree with this, but there are other towns similar to this town. Maybe, now this one is very unique in many regards. The collective mentality of the population there, and the behavior, the accepted behavior and methods of operation in that town are extreme, are an anomaly, more than unique. Extraterrestrial. They're not of this world. Like, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Like, literally, there's an invisible, almost like a force field, like an invisible barrier that separates that fucking town from the rest of the world. Like the Bermuda Triangle, you have, where it's just an anomaly of the ocean. It's incredible. Planes fly over and the shit starts malfunctioning, and the next thing you know, they disappear and you don't ever see them again. I was like, where the fuck did this plane go? And nobody, he flew over the Bermuda Triangle, Nobody fucking knows. And then it's become accepted. Well, if you go to the Bermuda Triangle, then that's what's going to fucking happen. You might not ever come back. You might disappear without a trace. Nobody knows why. That's Lawrenceburg. You go to that fucking place, you're going to disappear without a trace, motherfucker. And I know where to find you. But people in Lawrenceburg now, they know where to find you. Because I guarantee you go to the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle, whatever the fuck lives in the fucking Bermuda Triangle, they know where to find these motherfuckers that disappeared. Because they're the ones that arrest, they're the ones that pulled them out of the air. They're the ones that did this shit, right? Whoever it is, aliens, who the fuck knows? Lawrenceburg, you motherfuckers, you know where the victims of your crimes end up, and that's called Lawrence County Jail. And every fucking body in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee knows what the fuck I'm talking about, because everybody in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee is in fucking jail. Or they're on probation, waiting to go back to jail. It's an industry. They've created an industry in this town, and unlike no other, it's unprecedented. The industry of incarceration that they have established in this piece of shit town is insane. Okay, I'm going to explain a little bit about it. Okay, well, first of all, it's a good old boy system. We like to call it, if you've ever heard that term. The good old boy system is where you have old money in the town. You have positions that are passed down. Even elected officials. Everybody knows who the fuck's going to get elected. There's no doubt that people don't even have to vote. And really, it wouldn't matter if they did or not. The people who they want in office in this town are going to get into office. Kind of like what's going on in the country today. It's kind of filtering out. But a case of the Lawrenceburg fucking blues, in the White House now. That's kind of Trump's methods, you know, his way his administration likes to work. You know, they buy people, pay people off, incarcerate people that didn't do anything fucking wrong. You know, they put cases on. I mean, they're dirty. They're fucking dirty. And this place is so dirty, so dirty. I mean, the General Sessions judge, who pretty much the people that run the town is the legal system, the courts. The people that have the most power in the town is the judge and the sheriff and the police officers. You know, the lawyers, the prosecutors, the DA. The DA's got more power than you. The DA owns Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. That's the owns district attorney. Nobody else. If your last name is fucking this or that, you know what I mean? You're fucked or you're not. That's the way it goes. Okay? And the district attorney, I'll say this, and this is the problem. This is a problem. I'm going to point this out before I get into depth into the inner mechanics of the town, you know, the infrastructure, who's, what, why, and how. I'm going to say this, and this is wrong with, I think this is a flaw in the entire judicial process in the entire country. Okay? There are certain officials that are elected, and there's certain officials that are appointed. Okay? Certain positions should be appointed. Like, you know, the president can appoint, you know, members of this or that, you know, appoint people in his little entourage. But there's other positions that you must be elected by the people, by the community, by the country, the state. Governor's elected, you know, not appointed. The president doesn't appoint governors to each state because he can just make his own little clique that way. So people have to be elected, certain officials. Well, in the judicial system, a judge is elected. Okay? A sheriff is elected. Chief of police is elected. Mayor is elected. City council, I mean, you know, the fucking county commissioner, executive, they're elected officials. Because it gives the people the opportunity and the right to choose who governs their community. But the district attorney position, that should not be an elected position. It should be appointed. And I'm not really sure who should appoint the district attorney. But I am positive that the election, maybe he should be appointed based on certain elements of his career. And I'm going to tell you why. I'll explain to you why. I know it sounds like I'm not making much sense here. The district attorney is elected, okay, by the people to be DA. All right. Well, how does the community how do they go about voting? I mean, what do they look at? And what are the qualities that a district attorney must possess to be a good district attorney for the community? Well, first of all, they look at him, and in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee anyway, and they go, well, is he white? That's definitely going to be a plus for him, because it's definitely not going to get in there any other way in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. So it's got to be white. And, but no, just all jokes aside, they look at the conviction rate. His track record, his credentials. Okay, well, old District Attorney Britt Cooper, has a 97% conviction rate, 98% conviction rate. And this other guy, John Luther over here, has got a 76% conviction rate. Now, Britt Cooper could be known for underhanded deals, could be investigated federally by for falsifying, evidence. There could be a million different bad, cons, as far as pros and cons go, against this man. There could be all kinds of allegations of sexual abuse in the office or whatever. He could be just a complete piece of shit. Filthy, dirty, corrupt motherfucker. And with somebody with a 98% conviction rate, for one, if you're enlightened, if you have any goddamn common sense, you would know that you would have to be fucking corrupt and dirty to have a conviction rate that high. Which is exactly what it is. As opposed to the 76% conviction rate of that person. Okay, well, sure. But what are the odds of every fucking single case presented to you to prosecute? They were guilty. You're telling me cops don't get it wrong? You're telling me people aren't falsely accused and things like that? Statistically, the odds are just don't. It's ridiculous. It's all next to impossible to have the cases to get a conviction rate that strong. Well, not to get a conviction rate because you're convicting people but it's almost next to impossible to have a conviction rate that strong, that big, that close to 100% without being wrong about some of them. Without some of those people being fucking innocent. Because the odds, statistically, of 98 out of 100 motherfucking cases presented to you are going to be guilty or slim enough. So the guy with 76% conviction rate may just be a little bit more honest than this motherfucker with the 98% conviction rate. But if all you do is sit at home, go to work at fucking Modine, and then come home and smoke some, well, probably not voting, you know what I mean? Drink your fucking sun drops and, you know what I'm saying, and smoke a cigarette and watch Duck Dynasty or whatever the fuck, and Fox fucking News, and think you know what the fuck is going on in the goddamn world, and go to church on Sunday where the county commissioner is the one preaching, and on Sunday, but you don't give a fuck about nobody. You wouldn't give a fucking nickel to a motherfucker homeless walking down the street. Oh, look, Jordan, he's filthy. Look at him. Call the cop. Call the law. Don't ever fucking mind. No matter what happens, call the law. Look at them boys walking down. Now, he takes dope. Call the law. Call the law. They take dope. Piece of goddamn shit, motherfucker. I just want to jump through the goddamn camera right now because I know what the fuck you're dealing with there. Anybody watching this in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, I know what the fuck you're dealing with. And I sympathize with you. My God, I'm so glad that I made it out of that fucking place. Because I have some very dear friends still there that I love dearly. And it breaks my heart to know that they still have to put up with that shit. But the elected official, okay, so see what these motherfuckers want to say. You're sitting at home and your son dropped your fucking bullshit, calling those cops on every fucking thing. Squirrel runs across your fucking lawn. Call the law. Call the law. Call the sheriff down here. Get the law down here. Well, call the law. God, it makes me sick to my fucking stomach. Then guess what? If you're that motherfucker, when it comes time to elect the district attorney, the only thing your ignorant ass sees is the conviction rate. Oh, well, obviously we're going to vote for Britt Cooper because he has a 98% conviction rate. He's going to get them damn tweakers off the street. Boy stole a weed eater last week. Lock him up forever. 16 years. Stole my daddy's dream. Fuck out of here. People dying on fentanyl out there and all that shit. That place cares more about property than they do lives. 100%. You can get caught with a fucking fentanyl, you can blow somebody's head off down there. And you'll get less time for murder. If you break in the wrong motherfucker's store and steal a fucking tape measure, I promise you, you better not bust a fucking grape in that motherfucker in the wrong yard. Yeah, and I'm not talking about get killed. Oh no, I'm gonna arrest your ass if somebody knows somebody there. And they've got some money or some ties to that community, or their last name's such and such, you're fucked. You are fucked. And it don't matter what lawyer you choose. No matter how much money you got to hire that motherfucker. They all eat together at Square fucking 40 or 1819, whatever the fuck it's called. Brass Lantern, and talk and discuss your life, what they're going to do with you. They will deal you the fuck out. They will right there in front of your face. I'm talking about the General Sessions judge. Thank God she's off the bench. Mike Harris, great man. He's a great judge. Patty McGuire before he came on. I'm talking, imagine a plantation owner with the white hair. General, put him in the hot box. Anybody that's watching knows this Patty McGuire bullshit. She should have been blown off the fucking bench with a 12-gauge double barrel years ago. She should have never been a fucking judge. Most of them that ever went through there should have never been judges. Just a few years ago, what was 2015, when they arrested the sheriff and the captain of the sheriff's department. Came out and arrested him. And guess what it is? And the captain that they arrested, now he's chief of police in the town of St. Joe in the southern part of Lawrence County. And he's actually a dear friend of mine. I'm not knocking him, Adam Brewer. I love you, buddy. Be good to see you. Drink a Miller together like we used to, But he just got caught. A lot of people don't like him, but he's no worse than any other. He's actually been good to me, at a time when a lot of them were buried a lot worse to me, But, they see this conviction rate and they go, oh, he's got this conviction rate. So they elect this motherfucker based on who's got the biggest conviction rate. Now, do you see what the flaw in that is? Because that's this guy's paycheck. His bread and butter is to be the district attorney. So if he wants to get re-fucking elected, next term, he better keep that fucking conviction rate up. Shouldn't he? In order to hold public opinion. So what does that do? That incentivizes his position to convict you no matter what. He doesn't care if you are guilty or not. All he cares about is, do we have enough evidence to make it look like he did this, to win the case, to convict him? Do we have enough evidence to convict him? Not is he guilty or is he not guilty? Not do we have enough evidence to prove without a reasonable doubt that he committed this crime. No. That has long went out the fucking window there. Now it is, do we have enough evidence to convict him? Who gives a fuck who really did it, if he did or didn't do it? We don't give a fuck about none of that. Can we spin this evidence, no matter what we got to do? Throw some dirt on it, fucking put some icing on it, grease the right wheel, tell the right lies, omit the right words, sentences, evidence, throw a couple more grams in there on him, throw some, anything on him, put this in his pocket, come out with this, falsify the report, whatever we have to do. Get the conviction, because my job depends on it. And my reputation depends on it. My paycheck depends on it. My ego depends on it. Now do you see the flaw in the district attorney being an elected official? They've incentivized corruption. Okay? Because the only way to ensure such a conviction rate, one would have to be absolutely corrupt. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what they have there, is absolute power. There's no one to step in. There's no state representative or district, nothing. No state senator, no governor, anybody. Nobody knows and gives a fuck about Lawrence County. They get funding. Now, they've turned jail into an industry. The judge, the general session judge, the judicial, they own the county probation. The county probation office a judge who was general sessions judge, she just got retired and another guy came in, but for years she was judge, many years. She personally, privately, owned county probation office. I'm not making this up. I can't make this shit up. Talk about incentive to put your ass on probation. Well, fucking A, I own the goddamn place. Of course we're going to put you on up. I mean, I need some business. And the sheriff. They run the jail. They own the fucking jail. That's who gets all the funding. That's who does all the, makes all the decisions about the inmates in the so many decisions that are important to a person's life. The big decisions, how long, the conditions of housing. How many people, how big is our jail going to be? And, how long are we going to keep, whatever. Who are we going to house who and segregate. And and blah, 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 and what they get to eat, you know, and how much they get to eat. How many meals we're going to feed them a day. Like, fucking, very fucking important decisions. And this, and all they care about is, you know, it's drugs. Lock them up. Yep, pick him up, strip your warrant, arrest him. And whoever the fuck gets to the phone first is who's going to jail. Or who's not going to jail. Whoever gets to the phone first is who's going to be the plaintiff, the victim, and whoever doesn't get to the phone first or doesn't get to it at all is who's going to be the goddamn suspect, the criminal. Anybody can call it. Britt Eskridge just beat the shit out of me. Well, I don't know, that's a bad example. First thing they're going to say is, what'd you do? That's just our reputation, you know, part of it. You know, but for another example, you know, somebody could call and say, hey, you know, this guy's got drugs over here on such and such street. They're going to come kick your fucking door in, beat the shit out of you, run up in there, take it. If you ain't got no drugs, they're going to put some on you so they don't fucking waste their time. It's that corrupt. Like, you have no idea. Some cops are good, some are not. But it's not necessarily the police force that is the main problem, because they're taking orders from the sheriff. And the sheriff has got certain things, certain standard that he needs to meet in order to continue getting funded. If you're the sheriff, you have a platform. You know, the community, who are the voters, they want specific things to change in the community. And that's how they choose who they elect as sheriff. When it comes to criminal activity, that's what a sheriff does, police the community. Okay? So, and I'm telling you, that's why I'm talking about this town. It's all judiciary. It's all police. It's all sheriff. It's like a Nazi police state there. You know, it's like Nazi fucking Germany, like literally. And, you know, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about, oh my God. It's bringing back a lot of memories having this doing this podcast on this subject. I wanted to just wing it. I didn't even write down any notes. Because I don't fucking need any. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you stories for days about this shit, but I don't want to get off track. I've already been all over the place already because it's got me a little bit heated, you know, just talking about it. It's so sickening what they're doing. Yeah, they need to. Netanyahu needs to come down there and take some pointers from Lawrence County. You know, when it comes to, oh God, see, I don't want to wish any more bad on the Palestinians. It's already going on them. Poor, bless their heart, those people. You know, but it's so bad there. I akin that kind of evil. I equate that kind of evil with Lawrence County. I know that sounds bad, but that's how bad the judicial system is in Lawrence County. Okay, so, you know, the sheriff, and they get funding. You know, they get money and these grants, you know, to house people in jail. You know, they get paid, you know, to put you in jail. They get all this stuff, this funding. And then the community elects these sheriffs for, oh, well, it's okay. First of all, if you're going to be elected sheriff, you got to say, well, what does the community, what are their grievances? What do they want? When you go to a meeting, you know, you go on your campaign trail, and hey, okay, what do you want? Citizens of Lawrence County? And they say, well, they pump their fist in there and they say, we want these crystal meth and the tweakers and the druggies and the thuggies out of our town. Okay, that's what you want. It's the main thing y'all want. It goes around all these different little towns. That's a collective decision is, okay, well, that's what it is. You know, that's the main thing that everybody seems to want. Majority of the people. Other people want some stuff that actually matters. You know, they want some things implemented. You know, things done differently. They want less police for, you know, they don't want such a presence. Every third car you see is a fucking cop. You know what I mean? And walking in combat gear, you know, with the combat boots and a vest and a goddamn, you know, job with these, I mean, in the mask, and they come in like 20 deep, and it's like, what? And they're just going in there to get old Kenny Wayne, you know, they're going in there to get old Donald there with a couple of, with a bottle of Loratabs or something, you know. And they shoot his fucking dog, and then they beat the shit out of him, and poor old Mike Jones, they drug him, a 62-year-old man, they drug him out of the window, beat him so bad he had boot marks in his face. Luckily, they were prosecuted for that, you know. And the district attorney in on that, like, just so corrupt there, like you wouldn't believe. Just beating elderly people, people dying in the jail from neglect. It is horrific place to get caught up in the judicial system. And so, anyway, so they say, okay, we want to get rid of the druggies and the thuggies, you know, we want to get rid of tweakers, that meth, that dope. And, because that's mainly what's there, you know, it's crystal meth, fentanyl, one or two, or everybody's drinking, but everybody drinks. Everybody's drinking, you know. You know, I used to drink. The whole time I lived there, I was on drugs. You know, I'm a recovering addict, an alcoholic. You know, I'm clean and sober these days, by the grace of God. But honestly, and I don't say I had to get out of the town and get clean and sober, because if you really had enough, you want to stop, you want to be sober and clean. It doesn't matter. You can do it. You can do it anywhere. You better do it, you know, or you're going to die. But it definitely didn't hurt. It definitely helped me. It was getting out of that town, getting away from that negativity. You know, I was just constantly so depressing and so hard. You know, it's almost like, fuck, I would rather die, drink myself to death than spend another fucking miserable moment in that mouth of madness, on that hamster wheel of time. Like, you're never going anywhere. On the fucking wheel, you're never going anywhere. Unless you become a cop. You know, but everybody's a cop already there, so you know there's no room for you. Anyway, so you want to get rid of the druggies and the thuggies and all this kind of stuff. Okay, well, how do I do that if I'm a sheriff? Well, how does the drugs, how does it affect the community? How does the drugs affect you? What's your main complaint? What's your grievance? Well, because, you know, a drug dealer, everybody knows who the drug dealers are, but they don't bother anybody. They're not concerned about the drug dealers because he's the guy over here with the farm equipment in his yard that doesn't move, you know, but he makes a good living, you know what I'm saying? Or the trucking business, but he don't ever drive the trucks anywhere. You know, he's that guy. He goes and shops like everybody, looks like everybody else. That's a drug dealer. What the community sees, how drugs affect them, are the junkies, the users, the homeless people who steal to support their habit. You know, the ones always in the Walmart, Dollar General, shoplifting their ass off every day. That's why, you know, the voters, they come home after church and their garage is broken into, and their weed eater is missing, and their chainsaw's gone, and their back door's kicked in, their shit's ransacked. The shed got robbed last night. You know, the hardware store got broken into. So and such dirt bike got stole off the back porch and all this bullshit. Okay, well, the drug dealers, the motherfuckers out there pushing all this dope into the community are obviously not the ones out there stealing your fucking chainsaw and your weed eater. Okay? It's the poor. It's the addicts. We're just trying to support them to get some more dope, get a hotel room, or get some money for some food, because there's goddamn sure nobody there's going to fucking help you out and give you a fucking dollar or give you a fucking meal or any of that shit. There ain't none of that shit in fucking place. There was no quarter for the homeless or the disenfranchised in Lawrence County, Tennessee, because they don't want you there. They want you out there. Well, they want you in there. When they want you there, they want to keep your ass, but they got a place for you. And it ain't the soup kitchen either. Yeah. So, that's how I look at the junkies, the addicts and things like that. That's what's got the citizens in an uproar about the drugs. That's what they want to stop. How do I do that? Okay. Well, we go out here and we arrest all the addicts on drug charges. Set them up. Make this one go and buy this much off of that one. Hell, we'll even make it trump it up to make it look like they're a big baller dope dealer. Oh, big quarter-pound arrest, Knowing damn well, they're investigating, they're smart. Knowing damn well this guy just picked up this quarter-pound and taking it over here, whatever. They bust the addict. They sneaky, dirty. They got the dealer in with the police, giving it, some fake dope to him. They're giving him a bust that looks like a real bust. Because if you get caught with something that looks like dope, if you're selling fake dope, real dope, it's the same charge, imitation. You can put a little bit of dope on there and make a test. This is really happening. I know firsthand, believe me, it's really happening. And so then you got the addicts locked up. You go and you do a big sweep. You push. Britt Eskridge, the fucking town. And you arrest all the addicts. People that live there all their life, people. People that don't know any better, don't know anything else besides Lawrence County. Can't go get a job. Because people look at them like they're fucking less than. And they're addicted to drugs. They need some fucking help. They need some hope. They need somebody to give a fuck. But no. Let's arrest them. Let's put them in jail. And then let's threaten them with 8 to 10, 12 fucking years in prison for getting caught with just a handful, with a pipe and a couple of grams. Or whatever. And then they start investigating the burglaries. So, and they do this. So now, then when election year comes around again, on paper, but they don't touch the drug dealers. They don't give a fuck about the drugs actually getting off the street. They want the drugs on the street so they can catch the addicts with big amounts of drugs. So they help them flood the street with the drugs. And then they lock up the addicts on big boy drug charges. So it looks like they're getting the drug dealers. But they're really getting the addicts who are out there stealing. So on paper, when they go for re-election, they say, look, public, y'all wanted me to tackle the meth problem, the drug problem. We tripled our drug arrests. And the crime rate decreased by 15%. Well, all the burglaries and thefts went down. Of course they did. Because you got them all locked up on drug charges. So you get a double whammy. Political science is fun. It's very, very clever. Genius. And then you recycle them. So your crime rate goes back up a little, put it back down. And then it go up for a minute when you got everybody out on probation. Then you go and you rearrest them on fucking violations of probation. So the crime rate goes back down again right before election time. You're turning a dial is what they're doing. They go, okay, turn it up, turn it on high. All right, I won. still sheriff, another term, turn it back down below. Boys, take a break and take vacation. When you come back, we'll fucking turn this fucking town upside down, arresting anybody within an inch of their fucking life. It's fucking disgusting. And then they get you in there and they keep you in there. Because they get you, they arrest you for driving. And you go to court and they take your license. Then they require you to be at the probation office once a week. They require you to maintain full-time employment. They require you to maintain a payment of $200 some shit dollars a fucking month. Come up there for a drug test, pay for those, all that shit. How the fuck are you supposed to get all those places if you're not allowed to drive, if they suspend your license? Anybody got a chauffeur? A personal fucking chauffeur in their goddamn basement just waiting on you to get on probation so they can drive you ever. You know how fucking hard it is to get somebody to take you any fucking where, much less every single day, several times a day for a year. Driving Miss fucking Daisy like nobody's got shit like that. Nobody's got it like that. Because in the city, well, what do you mean? In the city, fuck, you can take the bus. There's public transportation in place for shit like that, so there's no excuse. But what do? Why wouldn't they put in a public transportation line? Because they want to take their money, all that funding that the goddamn county gets and all that, the sheriff's department gets, they spent $60,000, in the last quarter, 3 months, on new equipment, on new toys, pepper ball, automatic pepper ball guns, CERT team gear with shields and knuckles and masks and all this shit. So these fucking punk ass COs that goddamn 19-year-old kids can dress up and fucking go play army together and go, take them down. Some guy old man sitting on a picnic table watching TV in the middle of the fucking jail pod. Ridiculous. Nobody fighting, nobody doing nothing. Just, what's going on? Like that. Like they're fucking special forces or some shit. It's ridiculous. They took all that money and they spent it on these new toys so they could all play army together. And what's the return going to be on that? What the fuck could a goddamn bunch of new pepper ball guns and fucking face mask and get up so you can play dress up? How's that going to get a return on that money? There's no investment. That's just spending. It's recklessness. How about take that money and put in a bus line? And then you can make money on that bus line every day. And then the people that don't have the license, that would eliminate probably 60 to 70% of the jail population. Because something strange to me, they used to have a small jail there and it was built to hold 36 people. It was full all the time, no crowd. And the community was fine. Then all of a sudden they built a new jail. And then they opened that jail and it was built to hold about 300 people. And they filled that motherfucker up overnight and it was overcrowded. And I said, what the fuck happened? Where did all these criminals pop up at over fucking night? Were they just not arresting people because they didn't have room for them? No. They started arresting people because they had room. Period. They just started campaigning, looking for motherfuckers to goddamn say. And that's not what a police do. You don't go looking for people to arrest. That's not how you police a town. It's protect and serve. You wait until you see a crime. You're just, let's go find something. Let's just go rouse people up. It's for anything. It's just the dumbest fucking shit. So you've arrested these people, and now you've got them in the system, and now they're fucked. And now they got nowhere to go. And then while you're in jail, this is how they play it. Okay, well, we're at it. Now I don't want to change my life. I want some help. How do I change? When you open those doors, I don't want to go back to drugs, and I don't want to go back to the streets. I want to live sober and I want to do right. Okay? They let you out at midnight. No money, no nothing, no help. You gotta walk off the fucking property at middle of the fuck. Who the fuck's what's anybody doing at midnight? What the fuck are you gonna do? Midnight. And all the motherfuckers that you need help from are turning their fucking head. They don't see you. They got their nose curled up. Oh. Call the cops. And the only people with their fucking hand out with their arms out start saying, hey man, come on over here, man, we got you. Need a place to crash at? Need some food? Need a little money? Need a cigarette? All the drug dealers, the trap houses, the gangsters, the street kids. The same fucking people you're trying, the same lifestyle you're trying to escape from. But there's no escape. And they make it that way on purpose. They want you to either go back to that lifestyle because they know they can keep recycling you through the jail, which is where their income is, or they want you to get the fuck out of it. They want you to get a retirement. And that's why they say when you're in jail, oh, well, you can do a program. Okay, cool, where? Texas, Florida, Nash on the other side of the fucking state. But nothing in the hometown. So now there's these couple of new ones now. GWP, God will provide, you know. It's some local fucking yo-yos and Jesus freaks, you know what I mean? You got to do this and fly right, you know, and go Jesus, Lord, Jesus, hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to be. Jesus. Or else you're fucked. You're going back to jail. You know, why wouldn't anybody be fucked up? Why wouldn't you do fucking drugs there, motherfuckers? Why wouldn't you do dope? I just started this as an introduction. It ended up being an hour-long fucking segment because you motherfuckers, you. I don't give a fuck. I'm pissed off. I don't even want to talk about this fucking subject no more. But we're going to pick up. We're going to talk about some more shit. We're going to stay into this for another section, another hour-long segment. We're going to talk about some other things. We're going to get in depth a little bit deeper. It's going to get a little gnarlier because there's some really sick, fucked up shit going on there, and we're going to talk about that when we come back. But at this point, we're gonna take a break, and then we'll be back, and we'll dig a little bit deeper into Lawrence County because I just scratched the fucking surface, my friend. This place is fucked up. Stay tuned.